The tractor's been sitting for more than a decade because I counted more than 10 rings in that wood and that
And the tree that
was growing in it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Over 10 years.
So now the question is, will it start, right? Will it start? All right, well, it's raining. It oddly rains a lot when Lowboy is involved, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, we got our new toy on the Lowboy, and we're just gonna pull it off here. And I'm kind of excited. We're not gonna get a chance to work on it till late this winter. But come on, right? Anytime you got a V8 hanging out the side of a 5020, can't be a bad day, right? I'll take the rain.
Well, I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Okay. When you buy a tractor at auction like this, they say we can't fire it up, it's not going to start. What percentage, like in your mind, you're getting it home and everything, what percentage, how likely do you think it is that it's going to fire?
This tractor behind me is happiness and crazy, all in the same shop bay. All right. So behind me is this 5020 Detroit. Starting last night, we kind of dropped everything, pushed this in the shop for a bunch of different reasons, and started working on it. Okay, so over the years, me and my dad have pushed a lot of stuff in the shop. This one right now, this 5020 with this Detroit, I don't know why, but in a weird way, I think this one might be one of the more special items that we've ever pushed in the shop. Pretty cool. Kind of excited.
Yeah, I don't know why you're excited either. It's only got a Detroit.
I know. We won't have ears after this, but definitely the neighbors will hear us.
No.
So cool.
Detroit's definitely the most efficient engine to turn fuel into noise there is.
Yeah. That number's sad.
Really? So, I mean, you had pretty low expectations for it?
The main reason for it, the number one thing that was a red flag to me, the two big exhausts going straight up. That was, in my mind, I'm like, oh, there's so many areas that could collect water.
Okay.
And that's the big fear. Right off the bat, if the exhaust would have had a curve or been a little different, and then just the way it was on the hill, just even for this last year, it was on the hill going up like this,
okay,
with the two exhaust stacks like that.
Okay.
And then I could put all the water back in the exhaust manifolds. So this one I actually had, I thought we were doing good at 50-50. And so, going into it, I was like 50-50. I mean, that's a decent number. All right, so the cool thing here today is my birthday. I'm turning 40 years old today, and in a weird way, this is exactly, if we weren't gonna win the lottery and be able to find like a beachfront house, this is like the next best thing. For a farm kid who grew up on a hog and beef farm in the upper Midwest, this is like the next best thing. Working on an old tractor with a big, just a big gigantic V8 in it. Happiness looks like this today. Yes, it does. It's 50-50 if this thing's gonna fire, 50-50. But you still want to have that hope. I mean, you hear all the stories on the internet of just, we brought it home and we put a battery in it and it just took off and we never touched it. And that tractor's been the main workhorse on the farm for 30 years.
Right.
I don't seem to have that luck. Some people do, but we've had just a number of motors that we bought that were they ran so good.
Yeah.
And then we get them here and it's like, oh crap. And we've been plugging away on our 5020 project here, but we have one problem. We knew this was a possibility, but yet we're gonna roll with it. We can't get the engine to turn over, which could either be disastrous or it could just be things are a little boogered up a little bit.
Yeah.
Which way do you think it's gonna be?
Hoping it just seized up just a little.
Just a little gummy, yeah.
Hopefully just enough to get it rocked over if we pull it.
So we know we have a bad clutch in the tractor, but what we're gonna try is just pulling the head with the skid loader just to see if we can get it to spin just a little bit. If we get to spin just a little bit, move a little bit, then we know it's good, then we know forward progress. If it doesn't move, then we gotta figure out a good plan C. we got all the fluids drained. Wow, that looks better than I thought.
Looks a lot better than I thought.
We knew we couldn't get the motor to turn over, but we didn't know enough about this thing to really, if our pull points were good on like how much force it should take to pull over.
Okay.
So
because if it would turn over, then that's
the best sign.
It
Yes.
will run.
If it turns over,
moves and-
yep.
okay.
Even the day I was down there looking at the auction, I was trying to get it to spin over, but I couldn't. But again, just the way it was all there, I couldn't get a good pull point on it, on anything. All right, so we decided to hook the skid loader up to it because the theory is if you pull the tractor forward in gear and then pop the clutch, it should spin the motor over.
Okay.
Well, it didn't. it stopped the skid loader dead in its tracks. Which still doesn't mean it's catastrophic.
Okay.
It just means
It wasn't a good sign.
it wasn't a good sign. Yeah. So then we decided to pull the heads. So in the quest to free up the motor, we pulled the muffler and exhaust off. Didn't look good. We got the worst case scenario. We got rust in the intake ports. What's that?
Rust and exhaust.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. This one, the intake ports are there. Puff, we had rust in the intake and exhaust ports. Sorry, forgot. Not John Deere, Detroit. We got rust in the exhaust ports, which probably means we got water down the cylinder, which probably means it's rusty, but we won't know until we keep digging into it. So stay tuned. No one else is happy. I'm still happy. Like, I'm still like, heck yeah, this is still fun.
Just means more work.
Means more. We're used to that saying around here. Like, if anything, it goes back to the joke I have with Larry. How many people friggin' pull start a tractor and it runs perfect, and then there has been nothing in this shop in 10 years that hasn't had worst case scenario?
Well, the valuable experience we're getting right now.
I know, we're figuring out Detroit. Which still doesn't mean it's catastrophic.
Okay.
It just means
It wasn't a good sign.
it wasn't a good sign. Yeah. So then we decided to pull the heads. And when we pulled the heads, if you have a sense of humor, Andre pulls the exhaust manifold. Better, but oh, it splashed water. Oh. Well, we know we got scrap iron.
It's like algae growing here.
Oh.
No bueno. It's plumb full of water.
Only cool thing, you ready?
We got a clean slate.
It's that bad, we know there's no more guessing. Head's coming off. Because now, more than likely, that motor is scrap iron. Nice. And literally, water is draining out of the exhaust manifold, which we knew was not a good sign.
What does that mean?
So then we pulled the cylinder heads, and if you look here, you can see all the rust in the cylinder heads.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sheet rusty. Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay, so me and my mom and dad and siblings are all going out for dinner to celebrate my birthday, but I got the guys in the shop here, and our tractor we're working on, this has gotten more and more disastrous the more we worked on it. So they're about ready to pop the heads.
What side's off?
That bad?
One good.
Yeah.
Nope, keep going. Butter out. You got a bucket around here still? Oh, this side's really bad. Oh, that is.
The rust wasn't allowing the pistons to go up and down.
Yeah.
Basically, we knew the motor needed a complete rebuild, and we were under that 50-50 mark.
Okay. So at this point, so rebuild means you'd still salvage the existing
Yep.
motor and just
Yep.
put
Basically.
a lot more time and energy into it.
Yeah,
then-
and the worst is when you start rebuilding an engine. We've done this a bunch. You usually you could do it cheap and easy and just put new pistons and liners in it, but then you start talking to guys, they're going to tell you, well, you got the blower off, you take the blower to a shop, get that rebuild at $1,500.
So
You should
there's no
probably,
end
that's
to
what
it.
happens.
Okay,
And then if you
yeah.
got a 50-year-old block, you should take it to a machinist and have them true it up and then
Okay.
check all your heights, and then same thing with the heads, and then no one wants to reuse valve springs. And then pretty soon your rebuild is
should've
10,
just got a
12,
different-
15,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So on a good note, because we're not quitters, that was Tuesday.
Okay.
Friday, Dad got on Marketplace. Friday, it is 1 degree outside, and we are on the north side of the cities getting a new motor. All right, well, it's official. We are on our way to get a motor, and there's 5 of us in here. And, well, it's Black Friday shopping, isn't it? It's Black Friday, and we're going to find a motor. Hope it works out. It came out of a bus. So we're literally trying to figure out how we're going to put a bus mower, take a bus motor that we bought on Marketplace and put it in a John Deere 5020.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, but overall, it's the same motor?
Yeah, same
Like
motor.
size,
same
shape.
Yep.
everything?
There's going to be, we got to switch some things around. There's a few bolt-on things that are different things like that. But for the most part, should work. And the only thing that was different this time, we did make sure this one spun over. That was the one thing I told the guy. I'm like, I just want to spin it over.
Because even this, you didn't get to hear it run.
Nope.
Right? Okay.
Nope.
So
Nope.
you're still kind of like
Gambling.
taking their
Yeah.
word for it. Okay.
What the initial goal is we didn't know anything about the tractor. We didn't know if it ran. We still don't know if there's any rear end issues, anything like that. Basically right now we just know there's some good components in it. So the thought was, we bought a $1,300 motor. The thought was, let's put this motor in it. Let's make sure it runs. Once you know it runs, you can test out like the PTO, the rear end, all the
Sure.
gears, etc. before you just keep throwing
Okay.
gobs and gobs of money into
Okay.
it. So that was kind of the mindset, is that once we get it running, and then we can kind of fine tune it from there. So yeah.
So, okay, back up though. Doesn't start, doesn't turn over. Like, what was your thought? Like, were you kind of sad about it, or was it just like, we bought it at a price knowing that we might have to do this?
I think I'm just, you just kind of knew those numbers. Well, a little bit of an unexpected surprise seeing the cylinder walls rusty like that, but we also bought this with the mindset that it could be junk.
We went into that with the intent that we were buying all the mounting brackets and all the hardware to convert a 5020. We kind of assumed that with the trees the size that they were in it, that more than likely
It's definitely a good talking point though. Wood in the frame.
it would very well be a possibility that it was bad. And it was just a bonus if it wasn't, so.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's like when you buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, that's actually
there's
true,
a
yeah.
chance. There is a chance this could change life. There's a chance you could be the barroom hero. You could top all your friends' stories. And then there's a more likely chance that tomorrow's going to be just the same. You're just going to be $2 poorer.
Yep.
But what? We like the chances, right? Like,
Exactly. You gotta
like,
try.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, you'd rather put your money into tractors than lotto tickets, right? So,
It's the hard thing at like this point in life is like when you've done it and you know like just
yeah.
what
I mean,
what
you
it
went
takes.
into it realistically.
Yep. The other thing is partly just our climate. We get a lot of snow, a lot of rain, a lot of sleet, all that
Okay.
stuff, a lot of moisture. That's
So it's
why
harder for
it's
things
so
to sit
much
out in a
harder.
field than-
Yes.
okay.
Real quick, if you got to this point in the video, take a look behind us. The project's moving forward. The following week or two here, we're going to talk about how we got to this point, and we're very close to getting it running. And so,
Well, because we don't still know if this one runs.
I know, but isn't that kind of fun?
That's gonna be fun.
Remember?
And also, for Eric's 40th birthday, would you subscribe to his channel? You can do that. That's okay.
If you have a funny story about when you turned 40, feel free to leave it in the
Oh
comments.
yeah. Or what do you know? What did you feel when you turned 40?
Yeah.
So
And if your comments are you're so old because you're 20, live it up, bro. Live it up. Enjoy it. I understand that comment because I work around a lot of 20-somethings. It's fantastic. Just don't be mean when I hand you my phone and like, dude, show me how to do this.